What's up everyone, and welcome back to the Bold and the Beautiful 24 official channel. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button today. Let's get started. Sheila and Grace are unnerved at the hospital. At Il Giardino, Sheila told Deacon how upset she was that Lee wouldn't let her say goodbye to Luna properly. Deacon told Sheila that having Luna out of their lives was a good thing, but she could say goodbye anywhere. He advised Sheila to put it out of her mind because Luna wasn't coming back. Deacon soothed that he didn't want to cause Sheila more pain, but she understood his thoughts about Luna. In the hope that he would assist her in paying Luna her respects, Sheila informed Deacon that she was going to locate Finn. Sheila thought she should at least pay her respects to him for losing his daughter. Deacon snapped that someone needed to be the voice of reason. He stated that no matter what he or Sheila thought of Luna, no one would ever see her again, and that she needed to simply let her go. At Lee's, she stood by Luna's bedside and encouraged her to pull through. Lee looked at her supplies and knew she needed more medicine. She told an unconscious Luna that she didn't want to leave, but she needed to get more meds so she could save her. To the hospital, Grace continued to beg Finn to keep her secret. Finn was puzzled. What Grace would do next if the loan sharks came back. She promised she would not do this again, and she reminded him that she had been a good doctor up until this point. Finn recounted everything Grace did with Liam's diagnosis and fake surgery, and how she pocketed $1 million for it. Grace recalled how Reese stole Beth and let Liam and Hope believe their baby was dead. She said at the time, she thought Reese was the most despicable man in the world for what he did, but didn't think what she did was on that level. Finn argued that she let Liam believe he was dying, and didn't see the difference. Grace begged Finn to give her more time to make things right because he told her that he couldn't keep quiet about it. Finn told Grace that Liam believes he is a cancer survivor but would spend his life worrying and wondering if the cancer would come back. He felt Liam had gone through enough and said he wouldn't put him through that. "If you turn me in, I'll lose my career. I'll be imprisoned. And I'm not a thief. That money wasn't for me," Grace begged. She insisted that she didn't put her family in that position, but had to get them out of it. She told Finn she would do anything for his silence, but he refused. Grace cried that she was ashamed and begged his forgiveness. "Are you going to tell Liam?" she asked. No, Finn said. Sheila went to Lee's office, but she wasn't there. April, the lab technician, walked by and stopped in to explain that Lee had taken a leave of absence. Sheila explained that she was Finn's birth mother and wondered if Finn knew about Lee's sudden leave of absence. She also asked if she knew where Luna's remains were, and noted that Lee wasn't returning her calls. Sheila confided her feelings about Luna, and April listened to Sheila's story sympathetically. Sheila asked again about where Luna's remains were, and April offered to look it up since Sheila was Finn's mom. "That's weird," April said as she went onto the computer. She told Sheila there was no record, but advised her to ask Dr. Finnegan regarding it. As Sheila went to leave, she bumped into Lee coming into her office, knocking her purse to the ground, and some medicine bottles rolled out. Lee quickly gathered them back up as Sheila told her again that she wanted to say goodbye to Luna and asked where she was. The Spencer mansion. Liam teased Hope about doting on him, though he noted it was a lot less weird than when his dad did it. Liam told Hope that Bill seemed like a changed man. Hope told Liam that he was a good father and a good man. Liam gave Bill credit for paying $1 million to save him, and Hope was shocked at that detail. While Hope was asking Liam about Bill paying for the procedure, Finn and Grace walked through the front door and surprised them. Liam and Hope gushed about how Grace saved Liam's life and shared how hard it was to think about telling their daughters that they were going to lose their dad. Grace said she understood, as she had daughters, too. Liam thought Grace was being humble when she said that she didn't deserve his gratitude. Finn told Liam to let Grace explain what was really going on. "You need to hear this," Finn said to Liam. "Go ahead, Grace. Tell Liam the truth about his brain cancer." Sheila's anger at Lee's cruel refusal to let her say her final goodbye to Luna reached its boiling point as she vented to Deacon at Il Giardino. Sheila's grief simmered beneath the surface, and she hoped for understanding from Deacon, but he remained firm. He told her that Luna's chapter had closed and advised her to move on, suggesting she could say her goodbyes anywhere, that the place didn't matter. But Sheila wasn't ready to let go. She wished for closure. Her voice trembled with emotion as she told Deacon she intended to find Finn, Luna's father, and pay her respects through him. But Deacon, ever the realist, cut in sharply. He stated that someone needed to be the voice of reason. Luna wasn't coming back. Sheila had no choice but to accept that, no matter how she felt. Sheila was deeply moved by the weight of those words, but her eyes showed that she would not be discouraged. Meanwhile, at a secret location, Lee stood beside Luna's unmoving body. Lee's unwavering devotion and the hum of medical equipment surrounded Luna, who was still unconscious. Lee whispered words of encouragement, urging Luna to pull through, her hands trembling as she checked vitals and IVs. But the supplies were running low. Lee knew she had no choice. She had to leave Luna alone for a short time to get more medicine. The thought of leaving her vulnerable granddaughter even for a minute made Lee uneasy, but she had to save her. She reassured Luna softly, promising to return quickly. Grace Buckingham was crumbling under the weight of her lies once more at the hospital. In a tense private conversation with Finn, she begged him not to expose the truth. She begged for secrecy and asked him what she should do if the loan sharks came back, her voice shaking. She swore it would never happen again, clinging to the identity of the good doctor she used to be. But Finn wasn't swayed. He told about her wrongdoings, including falsely diagnosing Liam with brain cancer, staging a fake surgery, and taking $1 million. Grace tried to justify it. She compared her mistake to Reese Buckingham's vile baby-switching scheme, insisting she wasn't like him. Reese had stolen Hope and Liam's baby and let them believe she was dead. Grace never went that far, she argued. But Finn wasn't letting her off the hook. What she did was traumatize a man, let Liam believe he was dying. He pointed out that Liam would forever live with the fear of his supposed cancer returning. That burden could not be hidden from Finn. Grace panicked. She pleaded with Finn and informed him that she would lose her freedom, her reputation, and her medical license if he reported her. She insisted the money wasn't for her, it had gone to paying off debts, protecting her family. She swore she didn't put her family in danger, she was trying to save them. Through tears, she begged for forgiveness and offered to do anything for Finn's silence. But he stood firm. He wouldn't be the one to tell Liam. She would. Sheila had taken her pursuit to the hospital during this tense standoff. She entered Lee's office, only to find it empty. Just then, April, a lab technician, passed by and informed Sheila that Lee had taken a leave of absence. Suspicious, Sheila pressed for more information. She introduced herself as Finn's biological mother and questioned whether he knew of Lee's sudden disappearance. Sheila also inquired about Luna's remains, expressing frustration that Lee wasn't answering her calls. April, moved by Sheila's apparent grief, offered to help. She sat down at her workstation and attempted to pull up records of Luna's cremation or burial. But something was wrong. Nothing came up. April blinked at the screen and muttered that it was strange there was no record at all. She advised Sheila to follow up directly with Finn. As Sheila turned to leave, the door opened suddenly. It was Lee. Their eyes locked in a charged moment, and as Sheila stepped forward, her arm knocked Lee's purse to the floor. Several medicine bottles spilled out and rolled across the floor. Lee scrambled to gather them, but Sheila was quicker. With narrowed eyes, she read the labels, her mind working fast. These weren't common medications. These were treatments for Luna, possibly a coma patient. Lee brushed off Sheila's questions, but Sheila wasn't buying it. She repeated her request. She needed to say goodbye to Luna. Where was she? Back at the Spencer mansion, Liam and Hope were sharing a quiet moment. Liam, still recovering, joked about Hope's fussing over him, saying it was a lot less weird than when his father did it. He admitted that Bill Spencer seemed like a changed man. Hope agreed and praised Liam as a good father and a good man. Liam credited Bill for funding his surgery and casually mentioned that his dad had paid $1 million for the procedure. Hope's eyes widened. She hadn't known that detail. Before she could ask more, the front door opened. Finn and Grace entered. The energy in the room shifted instantly. Liam and Hope were stunned and then deeply moved, thanking Grace profusely for saving Liam's life. Liam shared how gut-wrenching it had been to prepare to tell his daughters that their father was going to die. Grace nodded solemnly, saying she understood she had daughters too. But as Liam continued to sing her praises, Grace grew increasingly uneasy. When she demurred and said she didn't deserve their thanks, Liam insisted she did.